Welcome to Wednesday Word. I'm Fergie Horvath, and I'm really glad to be with you today. The word of the day for me today is threshold. I was just recently reading Esther DeWall's book, and it's called To Pause at the Threshold. And when you start reading her book, she talks about the importance of threshold. And she gives some examples of that, like in Japan. Before entering a house, you stand on the lintel, you take off your shoes from the outside before you step into the inside. And those actions are deliberate, that they are a conscious way of standing still, of, if only for a moment, to respect the two spaces, the outer and the inner. And then in another example, DeWall talks about monks and nuns, and before they go into chapel, to read the daily offices, pray the daily offices, they leave time to stand, to wait before they enter into the chapel. And by doing this, there's an attention and awareness and a crossing over of a threshold into a time and a place for the Opus Dei, which is the work of God. And then in her final example, she cites the rule of Saint Benedict, and specifically the work of the porter. Benedict describes the porter who stands at the gate of the monastery, welcoming guests and strangers. The porter stands at the threshold with one foot in the monastic enclosure and one foot in the world. DeWall says if there's one word that catches the sense of thresholds, it's transformation. Transformation implies letting go of control, of expectations that something better might result from that. Risking that certainties might be replaced with new insights. And in transformation, there's a conversion, discovering that there's a whole world out there that you hadn't really been aware of. And then transformation, DeWall says, they're always a little scary. And then she returns to the porter at St. Benedict. And upon seeing anyone, the porter says, Deo gratias, thank God you have come. She then extends the image to her own life to include greeting new circumstances, new situations, and new demands, so that even when they appear unexpectedly, she always feels ready and is prepared to welcome them. And so, just to wrap this up, to perhaps maybe we could imagine God standing beside us on either side of the threshold, either one, no matter which side you're on, in our journey of faith, walking with us, by our side, taking every step together, helping to transform us as we cross those thresholds. Or perhaps we could imagine God standing on the other side of the threshold, beckoning us to cross over to Him, to follow Him deeper in order for transformation to happen. So whatever image you take away from our time together today, the Japanese, the monks and the nuns, St. Benedict's porter, I leave you with the idea of transformation that will surely happen if you cross the threshold. What threshold do you need to cross today?